What's up? I'm Tyler Casey, and today I'm going to be breaking down a music video that I directed for SOB x RBE, the song On Me. I got this requested a lot. This is a pretty dope video, so I'm going to go through and break it down. So let's get right into it.
Invention I want you to see. It looks something like this.
Alright, so we're going to break this video down, and I'm going to get straight into it. Let's talk about the gear. The first thing that we shot on was a Red Raven. DP was Andy, who's super dope. He brought a bunch of lights as well along with his camera, so that was really helpful. So the lenses and cameras that we used the Red Raven with the Sigma 18-35 and the Sigma 50-100. So that was a really cool lens to use. They're both f1.8. And then we also used the Tokina 11-16 f2.8 for some like wide angle handheld stuff. Then we also used the GH5 on a jib with the Ronin, just because we didn't have enough manpower or whatever to get the red on there. So we used the GH5 and it worked out pretty good. So I'm gonna go through and talk about these scenes. So this is the first scene right here. So we rented the cop car, but it didn't have, I just found it on Craigslist, so I just posted an ad, it came up. And this was like the main scene. We set up like a little set right here. This is filmed in like a studio. So we rented the cop car, and then I rented the light bar from a prop house. Andy picked it up for me. And then we ran it off a car battery because it doesn't plug into the wall. So we had to use a car battery. And then we also put Quasar tubes underneath the car to give a nice glow on the cement. And we made a couple puddles of water, but we had to be careful because we had open wires back here and we didn't want people to get electrocuted. So we did that. Then off to the left we have a 1K, boom, and a 650. My writing's getting better. One has a red gel, one has a blue gel, and we were waving those back and forth to kind of give like a police light effect look. Let's check that out. So yeah, you can kind of see them wiggling back and forth right there. Then the other lights that we also had in the scene is, this is the main scene where we used the GH5 on the jib. So we hooked it up to the Ronin. I used the controller and controlled the pan and tilt axis while he jibbed up and down. So it worked out pretty good because we didn't have like a jib where you can control the pan and tilt. So this worked out fine. So off to the side we had a huge 12x12 frame. If I have a behind the scenes picture of that, I'm gonna throw that up. And then we shined Andy's 300D through that. So we put a plus green filter on it, so it kind of gave the lighting, the daylight lighting, like a real dingy, gritty look that maybe you'd see on like an actual street, because we wanted it to look like it was outside. So we shined that through a big 12x12 frame, the 300D. And we also had another 120D coming in from the back. So you can see that right. You can see this red light right here, this red glow. That was just a 120D with a Fresnel lens shining back behind. I'll show you guys that later. So yeah, you can see right here we had a 120D as well with a light dome, and then that had the plus green in it as well. And then we have the frame as well coming from the side with the plus green with the 300D kind of filling in the face. He was a little bit closer to the light dome here, so you can see it was kind of pointed down, so we get this body lit up, and then we have his face. So for all these B-roll shots, that was basically the lighting setup. We just set up that whole scene. Let's see. So like this medium shot of Slimmy, basically you see the red and blue light flashing. That's not coming from this, that's from the RE lights off to the side, swinging left and right, creating a lot more movement to make it look like there's some type of other police car in there, when there really wasn't. And then you can see the 120D back here with the Fresnel lens, giving him a hair light and kind of casting through this fence that we had right there. Then we also had a lot of ground foggers, so this created a lot of low-lying fog. So in the treatment, I really did want a lot of fog just creeping over the ground, because that's kind of the feeling the song gave off to me. So I really wanted like a lot of low-laying fog, and they talk about smoke a lot. So this is one of my favorite setups as well. What I did on this scene right here with Young Tio, I had him perform the song 150% sped up, so sped up to 150. Then we recorded at 36 frames per second, and then he performed the song back, and then he performed in slow motion. So what I did is we had a China ball above. I have a behind the scene photo of this, and it was above. Boom. And then we had the 120D again with a blue gel on it, shining from the back, kind of waving up and down every now and then. And this created a really dramatic look. So the lights are moving really fast, but they're moving in slow motion now. And then he's performing in slow motion. And I really wanted it to, when that beat dropped, it cut to that slow motion clip and it stayed on him for quite a while. So I really like the way this came out. And then we did this for Du Bois as well. So you can see Du Bois scene, same thing. We have the blue light flashing around, and then we have the China ball spinning around. And then the only difference on Slimmy B was we did a couple full speed as well. So Slimmy B has the red light compared. I just wanted his to stand out since he's on the hook and he has a verse as well. So he's part of like the main part of the song. So like the main scene, all the lighting stayed the same for all these B-roll shots. So basically we filmed this in 4K 120. The Red Raven was a little bit noisy, so I did add a lot of film grain into it to kind of blend in, but the video is supposed to be dark and gritty, so that's kind of what I wanted. So this is the hallway scene. So basically what we did is Andy went ahead and unscrewed all these lights up here because we couldn't turn them off. Then Andy rigged up the 120D with a plus green gel on it, so it came out really dingy and green. And then we have the 300D in the background with the Fresnel lens just blasting back there, and I really like the way that came out. Then we also had a ground fogger in here, so it created a lot of smoke and kind of filled in all this atmosphere you're seeing right there. And I think I like this shot so much and why everyone liked it is because it has so much contrast. So like you see all this right here, it's light right there, it's dark in the foreground, all in here, all dark. And then we have like this to separate them from the background. And there's a lot of contrast going on here. And then in these close shots, I really do like the way the red light really just cuts him out of the background. Like he looks like a red paper cutout or something. So I think that's one of my favorite shots in the video. So for the slow motion, all we really did is to get a little bit more light, we would just move the lights in a little bit closer. Like on these close-ups. That's pretty much all these scenes. So like you can see this cameo of Lil G. You can really see, let me move this. That's the 120D coming from this way with the Fresnel lens. That one's really rocking. Then we have the 300D. You can see that light there on his hands. And then we have the light dome coming from this direction, filling in that side of the face and this hand. Just like this shot right here, that's the blue Quasar 2 from under the car. And that's just the red 1K hitting. I didn't wave the blue at all, I just left the red. And then you can see also at this B-roll shot at the very end of the video, I left the blue on. That's the blue Quasar from the tube. I left the blue 650 on, and then we waved the red 1K left and right to give like a police siren type effect. So let's see, come back, boom. So it was all about just creating light movement to make it look like the cops are actually there. I wanted this to look like a crime scene. I might do an editing breakdown as well and break down a few effects that I did. Maybe just talk about that main effect I did while duplicating the bodies. If you guys enjoyed this video and maybe want to see an editing video, comment below, let me know, and make sure to subscribe. If you guys have any more questions as well, please let me know as well. I'm Tyler Casey, and I'll catch you guys next time. Thanks for watching.